Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Vanessa if you are new here. In this week's episode of Catholic Snacks, we'll be answering and addressing the question, is there one type of sin? If you're new to the channel or new to the series, Catholic Snacks is a series on this channel where we look at conversational points that take place between Protestants and Catholics in apologetics conversations. These videos are supposed to be helpful in guiding the apologetics discussions, as well as encourage the viewer to continue in researching the truth. These videos are a jumping off point to help kickstart your apologetics journey. This video, as with most Catholic Snacks episodes, there will be additional videos linked in the description section that will lead to more in-depth videos on the topic, as well as the entire Catholic Snacks playlist. But without further ado, let us get into this Catholic snack. So, is there one type of sin? Some Protestant denominations teach this man-made teaching that all sin is the same and therefore weighs the same when it comes to our judgment or the consequences of our sin. By having this belief, it causes for sin to be watered down and more serious sins to be overlooked or seen as the equivalent as non-serious sins. This can be detrimental to one's soul. But how do we know that there is not one type of sin? Well, Scripture teaches us that there are two forms of sin, which are venial and mortal sins. Before we get into the Scripture to back up this claim, let us look at the definitions of mortal and venial sins and sin in general. The Catholic Church defines sins as an offense against God. A mortal sin destroys charity in the heart of a man by a grave violation of God's law. It turns man away from God, which is his ultimate end and his beatitude, by preferring an inferior good to him. Whereas a venial sin allows charity to subsist, even though it offends and wounds it. There are requirements for a sin to be classified as a mortal sin. The Catechism of the Catholic Church lays out 3 conditions that need to be met in order for a sin to be considered mortal. These 3 conditions are that the sin is of grave matter, that the sin is committed with full knowledge, and the sin is committed with deliberate consent. A sin is venial when it is a less serious matter or the sin does not meet the requirements of what a mortal sin is. So now that we have defined our terms, let us look at the Scripture that backs up this claim that there is more than one form of sin. The best verse in Scripture that clearly teaches that not all sin is equal is found in 1 John 5:16-17. It says, "If anyone sees his brother sinning, if the sin is not deadly, he should pray to God, and he will give him life. This is only for those whose sin is not deadly. There is such a thing as deadly sin, about which I do not say that you should pray. All wrongdoing is sin, but there is sin that is not deadly." Clearly from this verse, it speaks of sin that is not deadly, aka not mortal sin, aka venial sin. Then the verse goes on to explain that there is sin that is deadly. The verse also teaches that all wrongdoing is sin, but there is sin that is not deadly. This verse's teaching does not make any sense if we believe that all sin is equal. But this verse does make sense when we apply it to the Church's teaching that not all sin is equal. Another interesting verse to bring up when discussing the equality of sin is from the book of Matthew chapter 5, where we learn that one can break or relax one of the commandments, but still enter the kingdom of heaven, but he would be least. These verses that I just mentioned will be useful in any discussion about whether or not all sin is the same in gravity. I hope this brief video helps and gives you a jumping off point. For more information, be sure to check out the description for a longer video that goes more in depth on the topic. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you happen to like it, please give it a like. And if you like me and you want to see more of me, please hit that subscribe button and also turn on that bell notification so you're notified when I post. And I look forward to seeing you guys all in my next video. Bye-bye.